What if I told you the pyramids weren't built by slaves, but by free men, paid in bread and beer? What if I told you there's more to ancient Egypt than gold, gods, and mummies? Let me take you back 4,000 years to an ancient world, where the lives of the powerful pharaohs and humble farmers intertwined in ways you wouldn't expect. This is daily life in ancient Egypt, not the life of kings and temples, but the reality of peasants, workers, scribes, and their pharaohs. It's dawn in the kingdom. The Nile, lifeblood of Egypt, is a god in itself. For the average farmer, the annual flood is both a blessing and a curse. It waters their crops, but too much of it, and entire villages are submerged. Every year is a gamble, and for most Egyptians, survival depends on this river. But did you know that despite the harshness of their lives, ancient Egyptians lived longer than most civilizations of their time? A farmer's wife could expect to live into her 30s, perhaps even 40s. Her husband? Not much longer. Life expectancy was short, but somehow, their civilization lasted 3,000 years. While most people think of hieroglyphs as mysterious symbols of the afterlife, they were actually used in everyday life too. You'd find them on legal documents, even love letters. Imagine getting a love note from your sweetheart, written in the same sacred script used to speak to the gods. But here's a secret few know. The process of mummification wasn't just reserved for pharaohs. If you had the right amount of wealth, you too could buy yourself an eternity. Tomb raiders? That's nothing new. In fact, many tombs were robbed just days after the burial, and sometimes by the very same workers who helped seal the tomb. Now, let's talk about the man at the top, the pharaoh. Ruler, god, warrior. But did you know that the pharaoh wasn't always an all-powerful figure? During some dynasties, the real power lay with the advisors and priests. Pharaoh was the figurehead, but it was the priests who controlled the land, the crops, and the laws. His day was not spent lounging on a golden throne. He was overseeing building projects, making religious offerings, and preparing for war. But behind closed doors, he worried about rebellions, rival claims to the throne, and the ever-looming threat of the god's wrath if he misstepped. For the peasants, though, life went on. They lived in small mud-brick houses with no windows, often only 2 rooms. But family was everything. Every meal was eaten together, no matter how meager. Bread made from emmer wheat, fish caught from the Nile, and on special days, perhaps a little beef or lamb. Yet, despite the backbreaking work and the uncertainty of tomorrow, there was joy. Celebrations of life, of harvests, of the gods' favor. And every night, they looked up at the same stars we do today. They believed, just like us, in something bigger than themselves. So the next time you think of ancient Egypt, don't just think of grand monuments and mummies. Think of the farmers who built those pyramids, the scribes who wrote love letters and hieroglyphs, the mothers who cooked over small fires, hoping for the Nile's bounty. These were the people who lived in the shadows of kings, but made Egypt the immortal civilization we know today.